I commissioned Streaky from Streaky Mastering to master my brand new song, I Wish, and we're going to listen to it together for the very first time right now. So I haven't heard this track yet, and I'm really excited to listen to it for the first time with you guys. So this is going to be a live reaction of me listening to this track for the first time. And then what I want to do is I want to compare the reference master that I attempted, that I sent to Streaky. I did a very basic master just to give him an idea of the sound I was going for. And then we're going to compare, my amateur mastering versus his professional mastering and just see what the differences are between the two standards. So what are the benefits of using a mastering engineer? Well, first and foremost, you're getting a second opinion. You're using a second set of ears, fresh ears with an external perspective to have a look at your music, have a listen and hear things that you might have missed or got so used to hearing that you just forget about, and demoitis has kicked in. Everyone's felt this before. So it's really useful to get a second external perspective. In addition to that, a professional mastering engineer will have unbelievably good hardware unit to run your track through to add some analog warmth, or equipment that probably, if you're running a home studio, and certainly speaking from my own perspective, I can't afford and don't have space for. As well, it's likely that they're going to have a ridiculously good set of speakers, and if you follow Streaky, he's always reviewing his favourite speakers, and the ones I think he uses are about the £20,000–30,000 mark, so that's a huge step up from the Neumanns and the Adams I've got in my studio at the moment. A mastering engineer will also be working in a professionally acoustically treated room. Although I've got some basic acoustic treatment in my room, it's not been treated by a specialist or a professional. And the key thing here is I am buying into experience. In Streaky's case, he's got over 25 years professional mastering experience, so his ears are so far down the line in terms of development and awareness than mine are, because I've not been doing this for 25 years. I've been a professional musician for 15, so he's way ahead of me. So getting that external perspective and those external ears is invaluable. So who is Streaky? Streaky is a guy I've come across on YouTube. He runs a channel covering all things mastering. He talks about equipment, he talks about analog outboard gear, he talks about what plugins he uses, tips and techniques, sample rates, how you should prepare files for masterers, and he runs some online courses. He seems like an all-round good guy, and his client list is quite impressive. It includes the likes of Ed Sheeran, Paul Weller, Usher, Kasabian, Groove Armada, Lily Allen, The Prodigy, Snow Patrol and Depeche Mode, amongst many others, and he regularly works for major record labels. So I think with this track, I'm in quite good hands. Links to his YouTube channel and his website will be in the description below. All right, so here we are in the Logic session for this track, and you'll notice on my master output bus there are several plugins. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail about what they are, why I've used them and how they sound, because I'm going to save that for another video I'm putting together with a colleague of mine, where we discuss how you can best prepare tracks for clients or for social media before sending tracks to mastering. Let's have a listen to the track without any master bus processing. The first plugin I've got on my chain here is a Pultec EQ from UAD, and what that's doing is boosting the low end and boosting the top end with a shelf from 12 kHz there. Now there's some great presets here, but I really like the mix air and low end one. Now I had to take the top end back a little bit because it was a bit too much, and the low end as well, but it just adds a nice bit of colour there to the overall sound. Then we've got a saturator from UAD. We've got the Brainworks Saturator V2. That just adds a little bit of grit to the sound. Channel EQ, just to take out a couple of annoying frequencies there. And Ozone 9. Now, Ozone 9 is a great mastering suite plugin. It's got loads of features, including this Master Assist. What we can do is choose whether we want a modern or vintage sound, how loud we want the output to be, and what the destination is going to be, whether it's for streaming or CD. Now, I don't know anyone selling CDs, so obviously this is going to streaming. What we can do with this as well, which makes it a really useful bit of software, is use their reference feature. If you have a track that you like the sound of, the EQ and the volume, load that into the software, and this will analyze that track, and it will then analyze your track and try and match the EQ and the output to the reference track, which makes this quite a powerful bit of software. So we analysed mine, and it came up with this basic EQ. Now, I did change this slightly because I didn't agree with it. Now, this is where it's great to use a mastering engineer to get another perspective on the sound of your track without relying on your own ears and software. Then we have a dynamic EQ. Let's just play that and we'll see what it's doing. So with a couple of frequencies there, it's just dipping them out when they're getting a bit too prominent. And then we have a maximizer, and there's various different limiting modes we can use. Do we want it just to limit the peaks, or do we want it to limit the whole track relative to the peaks? There's loads of different combinations, and we can set the outputs, and this is where we can gauge our LUFS numbers as well for streaming or CD. Let's listen to the mix with this basic mastering applied. So what that's doing is just adding a bit more low end, adding a bit of sparkle in the top end, just warming it up with the saturator, taking out a couple of the annoying frequencies with the EQ there, and then just pushing the overall level with the ozone maximizer. Right, let's move on and listen to what Streaky's done. And to do this, I'm going to get out of Logic, going to find iTunes.
I wish I could wear my heart on my sleeve to show you these feelings and let you come into my world. I wish you could see just how dark a place it can be to break through the borders that lock down the keys to my world. So don't let this go. Won't you try one more time? Because I want you to know that there is still life left in the middle of this. So I need you to hold me to account. I need you to guide me through the dark. I need you to love me the way that you do. So maybe one day we will land on the same page.
All right. Yeah, nice. The immediate thing that struck me was the stereo spread. Just seemed wider than my reference master, which I liked. Second thing is it's very warm. It's a lot warmer than my mix. It's very smooth. Everything seems very cohesive and glued together, which is the idea of mastering, which is great. The bass seems very focused, and the kick and bass seem tight and focused down the middle. And getting to the chorus, I don't know if Streaky's automated this or not. I believe he doesn't automate his tracks, but it sounds like the chorus has got a lift. Now, I usually rely on instrumentation and backing vocals. For example, in this track, I've added a high synth part and some BVs in the chorus just to give it that extra boost, that extra bit of dynamic boost for the chorus there. But that just seems to be coming out a bit stronger with this master. I'm liking that. I think it's great. Now, what I want to do is A-B this master with mine, and then we can discuss some of the differences. So let's do that now. So mine first. So the kick and bass are really focused there in the center. There's a good foundation to the track with that. Wider stereo imaging, like I said. Nice smooth top end. There seems to be a bit more air, a bit more space in the mix. Even on these headphones, I'm picking up on that. So what do you guys think? Can you hear much of a difference? Have you picked up on anything that I've not mentioned? If you've got any ideas, please leave those in the comments below. I'd really like to get your external perspective. I'm happy with that. I think it sounds good. If you'd like to hear the full track, it will be going on Spotify soon. My next video is actually going to be about uploading to Spotify via DistroKid. With that in mind, if you've liked this video and found it useful, please hit that subscribe button and press like if you can. It does help my channel grow and I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys with more quarantine very soon.